Jerry Eubanks is the current city manager for the city of Pawhuska, Oklahoma, a city in Osage County, Oklahoma, made famous by, well, frankly, quite a few movies in recent history. It's now currently famous because Jerry Eubanks is a convicted felon and is serving in the highest capacity he possibly could in a city. Not only is Jerry Eubanks a convicted felon, but he's also facing felony charges related to his work for other cities where he's alleged to have stolen property and illegally sold it to another city.
Current Pawhuska City Manager Jerry Eubanks faces multiple counts of felony embezzlement in both Kay and major counties. According to court documents, in 2018, when Eubanks was the Fairview City Manager, he bought a generator and an electric box for the Senior Citizen Center with nearly $34,000 of city money. It goes on to say that when the items arrived, Eubanks learned the items were no longer needed, but he opted to keep them anyway. He allegedly told the city it needed to buy the exact items. Instead of buying those items, Eubanks wrote a check to his sister-in-law's company, TCJ Oilfield Services, and split the money with her.
After learning that Eubanks was going to have to pay $30,000 in restitution, it became clear to me that he was going to have to turn to some source to get that money. There was nothing that would indicate that Eubanks has any money. Otherwise, why is he committing these petty schemes that he's committing, which are so obvious? So it comes to my attention through some sources that I have inside the city of Pawhuska that he was going to get a large chunk of that money via a bonus issued by the city of Pawhuska for $25,000. Now, Eubanks has been there for less than a year as the city manager. He just had a contract entered with the city of Pawhuska, and here the city of Pawhuska's leaders on the city council, they're going to give him a $25,000 bonus. I went to that meeting to speak about the fact that they shouldn't be giving him this kind of financial bonus so he can pay restitution for property he stole from another city. But, well, that didn't go so well.
Hey, Jerry, what's the $25,000 bonus consideration for? What are they looking at giving that to you for? What'd you do to earn that? Is that to help you settle anything in your criminal cases? No? What have you stolen lately?
I haven't stolen anything.
You stolen anything from Pawhuska? No? So why are they looking to giving you $25K? That's a fairly simple question.
I have no comment.
No? What'd you do to earn it?
I have no comment.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. This meeting's adjourned.
Well, there you have it, folks. That was that quick. $25,000 of taxpayer money just out the door for no reason.
So, upon getting to Kay County, where Jerry Eubanks is supposed to have court, and it's my understanding he's going to be entering a plea, not only does he have court, but his wife, who is a real peach of a woman, she has court as well because she's charged as a co-conspirator in all of this. Upon getting to Kay County, he's set up just outside the courtroom, and I have the entire hallway covered. There's not an angle or a point that somebody can go through the normal door to the courtroom to get inside that courtroom without having to go past where we were set up. So the question is whether they let him off with a slap on the wrist, despite the fact that he's a long convicted felon for doing the same kind of thing across the world, it seems. We're going to find out whether or not they're going to give him some kind of lenient favor because he was able to get 25 grand out of the city of Pawhuska to pay towards the money that he embezzled from these other cities. So that's what we're here for today. Thank you for joining us. We're going to show you what's going on. While standing outside waiting for court to occur, the attorney for Eubanks passed by a couple of times, but Eubanks never did show up. And ultimately, I went back into the courtroom, and there I find that they've already convened court. There's Jerry Eubanks, there's Sherry Eubanks, there's their attorney, and they're entering a plea. And as part of this plea, Sherry Eubanks' charges are dismissed. And Jerry Eubanks pleads guilty. He agrees to pay $30,000 in restitution, and we know where he got $25,000 of that. He got it from the city of Pawhuska's taxpayers, who gave him a bonus and did not withhold taxes from that bonus. He used $25,000 of that money for the restitution, came up with the difference, and he got 5 years of the suspended sentence, despite his lengthy and long criminal history involving all kinds of felonies across the state of Oklahoma and the state of Arkansas. This man who is able to take from taxpayers and then pay for his taking with taxpayer money gets a 5-year suspended sentence.
So, 5 years suspended sentence, concurrent with each other. They snuck him in somehow. So, you want to go get him on the front? I want to go cover the front and get him. I'm going to stick the sentence in the white right now. Okay. Thank y'all. I'll be right out.
After watching this plea deal occur, I immediately go outside to get the camera going again to make sure that I capture Eubanks and his wife leaving the courtroom. And it's at this point we figure out that there is a rear access that the courthouse is specifically given to Jerry Eubanks, his wife, and their attorney to access that courtroom through a back passageway that's not publicly accessible. In other words, that courthouse conspired with this felon Jerry Eubanks to hide him from the media.
Yeah. But if you'll cover this side and see that side, I'll cover down here. And just holler. I'll holler real loud if I see him. Oh, Jerry Bear! Jerry Bear! Hey, Jerry Bear! Come on, Jerry Bear! Come on, Jerry! How you doing, buddy? I don't write this for anybody. How are you, you felon? How are you, you piece of shit? How do you like using the citizens of Pawhuska's money to pay for the stuff you stole, you piece of shit? How's that feel? How's that? You feels good, doesn't it? I'm gonna get your ass fired. What about? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the skid steer.
Yeah.
You fucking you. Love it.
Fucking criminal.
Love it. You crooks. You fucking crooks. You.
So after getting kicked out of one meeting, going to Jerry's court appearances a couple of times, I then ultimately go back to the city of Pawhuska to speak to them about budget item issues and the lack of financial transparency that's happening in the city of Pawhuska, and the fact that they're essentially trusting a man who's now pled guilty to a felony for stealing from another city, and they shouldn't be doing that.
Same here. I didn't get to sign up for it. On this one? Okay, great. Council, there's a documentary that I would urge each of you to take a moment and watch in the next coming days. It's a documentary called All the Queen's Horses. It's about a city manager and a finance person in a town stealing $50 million over the course of 20 years by preparing reports that look a lot like the reports I'm looking at here today. What you received as reports are nothing more than Excel spreadsheets. They don't tell you where the money's going, why it's going there, or what it's being paid for. This gives you no kind of information for which you can operate under. And if you look through them specifically, I'll give you some specific examples. Look in legal fees. $12,000 in legal fees. Have you looked at the invoices? Do you know why it's $12,000? Do you know what you're spending your money on? Have you looked at the late fee of $780 something? What's the late fee for? The late fee is for failure to pay a bank note. Why did that happen? Why are you not questioning that? You all hired somebody who has been in prison repetitively over and over again for his crimes. Ma'am, I'm gonna speak, don't interrupt me. It's my 3 minutes, do not interrupt me. His criminal record, ma'am, I'm speaking on the agenda item. Yes, ma'am, it does, because you're trusting a man who is giving you reports that has been in prison for doing things illegally. And then when he's gotten out of there, he's been arrested repeatedly for stealing from cities. That's exactly what he's doing. My time is not up. She hasn't rung me down.
You have not
She,
talked about the
ma'am, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're trusting a man who's only giving you reports. Stop interrupting me, Susan. Stop interrupting me.
3 minutes.
It is not. You've interrupted me. Are you gonna have them arrest me?
Okay. 3 minutes is up. Step aside.
Under threat of arrest?
Step aside.
Under threat of arrest.
You're getting real close to being kicked out of the meeting. You can't disrupt the
You're
meeting.
gonna kick me out of the meeting?
No.
She didn't call the time.
Let's go. You're out.
Let me get my gear. Let me get my gear. I'll get my gear. I'll get my gear. You can kick me out. You can kick me out. I welcome it.
I got up to speak. I was called upon. I was given 3 minutes to speak. I don't even think I got 15 seconds into talking, and immediately Susan Bayro, the mayor and the huge supporter of Jerry Eubanks, orders the police to escort me out of the building again. And this is what happens.
$3.08.
Is there comment allowed on this?
So, do you have any comments?
I'll sign up. I'd like to speak on it. Well, as it relates to the money that you've already paid, Mr. Eubanks, I just wanted to make it clear to all the other city councilors that there were no federal withholding taxes withdrawn from any of that, which need to be taxed at 37.5%.
Which amount are you talking about?
Because it's a bonus. Well, you gave $25,000. It doesn't indicate on the agenda. It does not indicate on the agenda what you're paying the man. So it doesn't say what you're paying the man for, why you're giving him any money. So I'm talking.
This is what he was talking about.
You're kicking me out?
Not letting citizens speak.
What? It's on topic.
That is on the
What the heck? It says on. I'm talking about the agenda items. Are you telling me under threat of arrest? Are you telling me under threat of arrest?
I am
Are
escorting
you
out.
under threat of arrest if I don't leave?
Please leave the building.
Under threat of arrest if I don't leave?
Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm asking you. Is it a threat? Is it telling me I have to leave, or are you asking me to leave?
I'm telling you have to leave.
Okay, that's all I need.
Jerry was on the agenda.
Susan, you screwed up again. Like, I'm suing you personally. Why'd you do that?
Fine.
I'm going to. Did you see how they were ready to do that? They had that planned out. A few days later, I was finally able to track down Jerry Eubanks, or as I so affectionately love to call him, Jer Bear. He was getting out of his truck and he was going to be heading into the Pawhuska City Hall, and I was actually leaving Pawhuska City Hall. It was kismet is what it was, and this is what happened. Jerry! Man, why don't you just resign, bud? I get people make mistakes. I heard Sean tell the story, and I know you're a good salesman. I get it.
Yeah.
But I've talked to all the folks at all the counties. I've looked at all the documents, Jerry.
No.
I mean, they got you nailed, bud. Right? You know that.
They knew all that in the beginning.
Jerry, they got
There's
you
nothing
nailed.
been hid.
But they got you nailed on that stuff, right?
Nope.
You don't think so?
Nope, not yet, Ron.
You think you're not yet?
Nope, they don't have me
I mean,
nailed.
didn't you tell him some people make mistakes?
Absolutely, I did.
Okay, so can't you understand that the public would not want you in a job like city manager, and that maybe somebody else can give you another
I don't
chance?
have
But
any more comment for you.
a lot of people are defending you, saying, "Hey, he's changed." And I'm just wondering, when did you change, Jerry? When did you change? Because
Ron.
you've been catching charges ever since you got out of since you got out of the pokey.
No, that's not true, Ron.
It's not.
That's not true.
Didn't you catch additional charges since you've been out of the pokey? A lot of them, right? Come on, Jerry. I'm not going to stop asking questions, Jer. Come on. So after getting kicked out of a couple of meetings, I decided that I was going to do everything I could do in the next coming election to replace members of the city council. The way I saw it, based on the votes that occurred, there was essentially a 4-1 vote in favor of Eubanks. So in other words, there were 4 people on the city council that were Eubanks supporters, one guy who was not a Eubanks supporter and voted against him as far as I saw. And, so the upcoming election was going to free up 2 seats. And 2 of those seats are Eubanks supporters. And so I figured, well, look, if we can flip 2 seats to add to the other person, we now have 3-2 on the Pawhuska City Council, and we can ultimately get Eubanks out of the city of Pawhuska, get the corruption out of the city of Pawhuska, and actually make and effectuate change in the state of Oklahoma. I went to the candidate forum, which involves Susan Bayro and the other candidates for the open seat, and I sat in the front row and documented what was going on. Now, just prior to sitting down, I did serve Susan Bayro with a multi-million-dollar lawsuit for her and the police kicking me out of those 2 meetings illegally. Excuse me, Susan? Susan? I got some papers for you.
I'm not going to accept anything.
You're being served. You have to accept them.
City attorney that can do it.
You're being served personally. Hand her the papers, leave them for her. Thank you. $33 million I'm coming after you for.
Okay.
You should resign. As the meeting went on, we were given an opportunity to ask some questions, and so I did. And my questions related to the $25,000 that Bayro, as a member of the city council, gave Eubanks. Can we ask questions now, though? Like, can we have $25,000, Susan? That's what everybody wants to know. I want to know the question to that.
I've got to go, but if anybody wants
Can we have 25K? I can't ask that?
This one, I mean, everybody wants to know the answer to that, though. In all seriousness, nobody's asking the hard question. She's the one that's responsible for signing the check and not withholding taxes. She didn't even withhold the taxes from it. So the city's going to be responsible for that. Well, why doesn't somebody, this is a candidate forum, why doesn't somebody ask the candidates the hard questions? Why can't we ask Susan why she's giving money away to felons? Why can't we ask that?
For whatever reason, that really upset one of the supporters of Bayro that were in the audience. And this old man decided that he wanted to kick my butt. And ultimately reached out and grabbed a hold of my monopod, started shaking it, trying to jerk it out of my hands.
Better room there, hotshot.
I know, I do. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got a Mike Wallace complex, don't you?
I don't know who Mike Wallace is, but maybe. Might be a little old for me. Are you related to Susan, sir? You related to Susan?
No.
No, you just wanted to interject yourself and support somebody who's supporting a felon? Is that what you wanted to do? Why? Why do that?
Why are you such an asshole? You don't even know
I was born that
you
way.
don't know what you're talking about.
I don't. I've not been looking at it, sir. You better let go of my stuff, sir.
I will
You're
grab
gonna
all
run
of
into
your
you're gonna
stuff.
run into a problem.
You do that.
He just go ahead and arrest him. I want to press charges. I want to press charges. It was in my hand and he grabbed it. Let's go. You just saw it committed in your presence. I want to press charges. You saw the misdemeanor committed in your presence. That's a battery. You gonna let him go? I'm gonna get his tag so I can file charges against him. You like the felon Jerry Eubanks, huh? Why is that? Well, go ahead and go to your car so I can get your tag.
I'll give you my
You're not
damn-
gonna go ahead and give it to me. Tell me who you are.
You pester me a little bit more, I will go to jail.
Come on, let's go. Go to jail if you want to go to jail. These guys aren't going to do their job.
Whose job are you doing?
I'm doing my job.
Who pays you for this?
Nobody. Why aren't you going to arrest him? You saw it committed. You saw him commit a battery in your presence.
I stumbled into your...
No, you did not. I got it on multiple cameras.
Why don't y'all just back off of him?
I'm going to go get his tag since nobody will tell me who he is and you won't do your job.
My name is Mark Helmer.
Great, I'm going to get your tag so I know who you are.
I just told you who
Yeah,
I
I'm going to be able to look you up.
Look me up.
Yeah, to sue you.
Okay.
PYQ 062. Why won't you guys do your job? You just saw a battery committed in your presence. Why won't you do your job?
Well, if that's battery, I won't get my money's worth.
Touch me again and I'll fight back. You grabbed something out of my hand. Why won't you guys do your job? You know, I didn't even sue you today, and I could have. I left you out. I just named the city. I didn't even name you.
I wasn't even out here.
I didn't even name you.
You can name me all you want.
Then fine. I'll amend and name you. You're going to lose your qualified immunity. It's going to come out of your own damn pocket. You don't think so? How much you want to bet me?
Do what you gotta do.
I'm going to. You want to identify yourself for everybody?
Out here and act like a jackass there, buddy.
Why don't you identify yourself? Can you give us your name and badge number?
Not worth my time.
You can't give me your name and badge number?
Who's paying you to be here?
Nobody.
Yeah, I know they are.
All these fine folks here on YouTube.
No, nobody applies to want you here.
Well, I don't know about that. There's a whole lot of people that reach out to me every day.
I doubt that.
The election's going to happen and you're fired.
That's fine. You know what? I got job opportunities all the time.
Great. Fantastic.
After working really hard to let all of the citizens of Pawhuska know that they needed to boot Bayro out of office, it ultimately came down to the election. And fortunately, the effort paid off, the work paid off, and Bayro was absolutely destroyed in this election. As an incumbent, I think she got 20-something% of the vote. If that is not a sign that the citizens of Pawhuska want something different, I don't know what else is. And it's testament to the fact that one group of people working with, local activist citizens can make a difference if they can bring awareness to what's going on to fellow citizens. This, I feel like, really changed something. And while Eubanks isn't gone yet because the new city council swears in May, it's my hope that as soon as May comes, they boot him out just like they booted Bayro. Hey, we're so close to 75,000 subscribers. We really appreciate each and every one of you watching. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Come back, watch more videos. We're going to keep trying to bring you interesting, entertaining content. Come see us again. Hit that like, hit that subscribe.